Hello everybody, welcome to Dee-licious. I'm Dee and today we're going to be cooking brownies. I love brownies. They are in my top 5, definitely. I'm just going to go through a quick run through of the ingredients that we're going to be using today, just so that you know. We're going to be using 2 eggs, 200 grams of sugar. This is white sugar, you can use golden caster sugar if you like. I'm also going to be adding to this 50 grams of Demerara dark sugar because I like the extra flavour that it gives. If you haven't got any in the house or you don't want to go out and buy some special, that's fine. Just add the extra 50 in white sugar or brown or whatever it is that you're using. You're also going to want 200 grams of dark chocolate, 200 grams of butter. You're going to want a half cup of milk with a lemon squeezed into it. You're going to want vanilla essence, and you're going to want 260 grams of plain flour with a teaspoon of baking powder mixed in. Now, first things first, make sure that you have some hot soapy water in the sink and that you've got your oven on 180. We're going to start this off though on the hob. So this is going to be an Amy Cam heavy, I think, today. And you're going to start off, you're going to put your butter in the pan. And when your butter is melted, you're going to add to that your chocolate.
Smells really nice already.
It's sugar. Okay, so you've melted this all together. Now, you're not melting the sugar into the butter. You're melting the butter. The sugar will melt a little as well, and then you put the dark chocolate in and take it off the heat, and the dark chocolate will melt into the mixture, the butter and sugar mixture that you've made, like this. At this point, it's going to be a little bit warm, and the next stage is to put eggs in, so you're going to want it to cool a little bit. I use dark chocolate in my brownie recipes. I find that if I use a milk chocolate, it makes a more cakey mixture, which I prefer a gooey brownie. I don't know about you. Some people do prefer cakey brownies, but I don't really understand you people. I'm gonna be honest there. I love a gooey brownie, and I like them hot with whipped cream, so that, you know, it's sort of like, I prefer cream with brownies as well instead of ice cream. My sister would eat ice cream and on hot brownie for every meal. But I don't really like the temperature change there. I don't really like. Weirdo. I know, I'm weird apparently, but I don't really like to have the really cold with the really hot. So I prefer like some cold whipped cream with it melting down. That I love. That's, to me, the best way of having a brownie. But you do what you like. So we are going to empty this into our mixing bowl. Oh, it just looks really nice, you know? You know when you do some recipes that you make, you just look at it and you think, yeah, I can see that this is going to be good. I can just see it. There's no way that this could be bad. And that's how I feel when I make brownies, that no matter how they turn out, there's no way it's going to be turning out badly. So, yeah, this is cooled down quite a bit now. So I'm going to use, yes, I'm going to lick my fingers, can't stop me. Not my real mum. I'm going to use my electric mixer. I'm just going to mix this together on the lowest setting. Oops, there we go. I've not got a very long lead on this. I feel very chained. On the lowest setting, just for a few seconds, just to cool it down a little bit extra. Right, so 2 eggs, and I'm just going to crack them first into a bowl. I'm not going to beat them, I'm just going to put them in whole. There we go. And immediately as you put the egg in, the texture changes and it goes thick like a pudding. Oh, it looks so good. Right, having mixed that in, oh, I have got it still, there it is. Having mixed that in, it changes the texture a little bit. This is going to be quite a batter-like consistency. You're going to drop in your ½ cup of milk and with the half a lemon squeezed into it, like so. Mix it together. I also like to put in my vanilla essence at this point. I'm going to be putting 2 teaspoons in. If you don't like vanilla in your brownies or you prefer a stronger vanilla taste, you are king. You can put in as much as you like. It's the best thing about being in charge in the kitchen. I don't care what you like, this is what we're going to do it my way. If you can hear like a little mouse in the corner sort of like scurrying about, it's my sister Amy, and she is licking out that chocolate bowl that I had on the side. She's not even sorry. Right, so this is your 260 grams of plain flour with a teaspoon of baking powder in. So this is not quite self-raising. If it would need a little bit more baking powder to be self-raising, because like I said, I want a gooey brownie. So I'm not particularly interested in it rising. I would prefer it to be a little more dense. But if you prefer a cakey texture to your brownies, then by all means, use self-raising flour. Okay, so once you've mixed all that together, and like I said, because I want a more dense, moist, I used the word, I shouldn't have used the word. Because I want a gooey brownie, this has something more like a batter-like texture. A thick batter, but still, you know, not like a cake would be. So, I'm going to be using my silicone mat, and I'm just going to put it straight in, because if you have these, and I'm pretty certain I got these from Lakeland, don't quote me on it, but maybe, love Lakeland. You don't have to do anything to it, and I am all about making things easy in the kitchen. So, I'm not going to do anything particularly splendid. If you haven't got anything like this, then you're just going to use the butter and flour technique that I've shown you in other videos. I'm really looking forward to having a piece of this because I'm currently on a cheat week. I'm off of my diet. So this week I'm able to eat the food that I've cooked, which is unusual for me. Right, so we're just going to spread it out. If you like, I mean, I always like to add a little bit more chocolate to my brownies. You know, this is perfect. You can put it in the oven. You're going to cook it for 10 minutes and then you're going to have a look at it. But if you prefer a little more richness, a little bit more chocolate, because who doesn't like a little bit more chocolate? I'm going to show you how to make a ganache as well to put on top, which is pretty splendid. And it does mean that if you have, because it is very difficult to find the right place to take out your brownies out of the oven, because you want them gooey, but you want them cooked. And sometimes you can miss the mark completely, and it just happens sometimes. So if that happens, you've overcooked your brownie and you wanted something gooey, but you've actually got more like a cakey brownie, don't worry. I just like to do half heavy cream, or double cream, in England we call it double cream, with to half chocolate. Now at this point you can use whatever chocolate you want, but I heat the cream up and I put the chocolate in to melt it, and then I pour it over the top of the brownie, and then it's sort of like it brings back a little bit of the gooiness if that's what you're after. And I do think that it's a nice little extra. I do quite like doing it, even if my brownies have worked perfectly, I still like to chuck the stuff on top.
The rain is falling slowly, it sounds so very lonely, like tears for a past, one that just didn't last. Seems so out of time, with no reason or rhyme, completely out of
So these are going to go into the oven at 180 centigrade. That's 400 Fahrenheit, I believe, if you're working in Fahrenheit. And I'm going to look at them at about 10 minutes. They should be done. I wouldn't leave them any longer than that. See you then. Okay, and here we have it finished. It's risen a little bit, but it won't be like very, very tall. You'll notice that it's got a few little cracks to show the expansion that it's had in the oven. This will dent. If you touch the surface, it will dent. So I'm pretty certain that when I cut this up, this is going to be like the perfect gooiness that I particularly like. Like I said, if you prefer a more cake-like brownie, then just leave it in for an extra 5 minutes or until you tap the top and it doesn't dent anymore. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching, and I hope that you will try out this recipe, and I hope also that you will like and subscribe. Thank you very much.
It's pretty in its way and will not always stay, but soon the sun will shine.